And I don't know, how many of you come from ministers' families? I imagine several of you. Your father's a minister. Okay. I come from a minister's family. My dad is a 305-pound Baptist pastor. Deacons always voted with him. And he sort of dominated church business when he was around. And my dad is a big old guy, terribly sensitive. Mother and I were his chief critics. He didn't have a formal education, didn't have a very good informal education. But Dad got through the 5th grade and almost flunked it. And at age 35, he surrendered to the Baptist ministry. And later it surrendered to him. My dad just sort of took over. Now, my mother is a picture of studied piety. You've seen people like that. My mother just be chewing you out. Phone and ring, she can say, hello. Crack me up. Mother just gets so dignified she stunk sometimes, and I just tease her about it, something fierce. Well, anyhow, my mom plays the piano just great, man. She can just play anything. Self-taught musician. Taught herself to read music by the time she was 14. She could sight read anything you put in front of her. Never had a lesson. My sister's that way. I can sight hear anything you play, but I can't sight read. Now, my mother can do it all, man. And she's just cool. Now, I used to lead music a lot. I learned to lead music when I was in high school from a dairy farmer in my dad's church, Shape Note Church, Dairy farmer taught us to do that. 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. 6, 8 was boom, boom, boom. 4, 4 was a little weird. He was a dairy farmer. It was a 1, 2, 3, kind of different. But my mother played the piano, and I led music in our congregation. We did. Came home from college my freshman year, first Sunday back. Dad was really sporting it. He prepared a sermon. And my dad was one of those kind of guys that preached with a big family Bible up in his arm with his forefinger in the text in case he should get back to it. And he would just romp and carry on. And my dad used to preach out of the Old Testament, particularly out of the tabernacle stuff, all the symbolism, showbread, the candlesticks, parting curtains, and the weirdness and all that, and clouds and pillars and all that stuff. And you do that a lot, see, because nobody ever reads that and they can't contest you. And Dad did a lot of that. And my dad also had a tendency, which is called increased volume as argument weakens. And my dad preached at the top of his lungs a whole lot. And in this particular sermon one morning, I had just led the music. Mother had just played the piano. I had just sung a solo. Ere you left your room this morning, did you think to? And so I, sat down. And my mother had just played for me. The congregation was moved to spasms of ecstasy. I was hoping they'd take up a love offering in that mood, and they sat there, everybody was just swooning. My dad got up, rahoom, 305 pounds of truth just about to fall on you. And he was yelling and throwing sweat 5 rows and convincing everybody of his point, just ripping on. And my dad came to the crescendo of his argument, which was something to do with sprinkling blood on the priest and on the door and burning the heifer and all this kind of mess. And I'd have transferred membership, I believe. That's the messiest religion I ever heard of. And how'd you like to go to church? Blood, 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 So, and Dad just loved it, blood, I'm sitting out there, and this particular deal, he comes down, and it is the thinnest slice of importance you could hope to cut, right? Just paper thin. But Dad is just triple volume. And he gets to the point, kazoom, and when he says it, he gets 2 words twisted. And he came out with the vilest obscenity you have ever heard in your life. You didn't even read it in the truck stop bathroom. It was terrible. And just, and when he did that, my mother, who's the picture of piety, and I had just sung Ere You Left Your Room, and we were both just, and Dad says, and we both go, Golly, he nearly killed us, man.